Good evening, church. It is Wednesday, September 30th, and I bring you greetings from somewhere new today. So many of you liked the videos, or seem to like the videos from our garden in our front yard at our retirement house in New Jersey. So I thought this week I would record this week's devotion from another yard, from the church parsonage here in Jamaica, the house where I really live. And I say that because a lot of people have asked about what a long commute that is back and forth from New Jersey. We really live here. That's our retirement, our future retirement home. But even though I'm here, just to confuse you, the story I'm about to tell you is about over there in New Jersey. I want to insert a little bit of video into this devotional, a video of me shoveling dirt, a lot of dirt, a small dump truck load of dirt, 5 cubic yards of topsoil dirt, good dirt, clean dirt, but still an awful lot of dirt. Of course, you're asking yourself, why in the world is Pastor Bob shoveling that pile of dirt? Well, I'm going to tell you. You all know that if you've been watching these videos that we, in the house at Jersey, we filled the swimming pool that was out back at the house. It was just too expensive to maintain, and it was too dangerous to keep if we're not actively living there. So we had a big hole to fill, which we did earlier this year, back in February and March. Then there was the darn sewer line replacement. Big, long trench to fill. Filled, of course, with the dirt that was dug out, but as dirt tends to do in both places, both the swimming pool and the sewer line trench, the dirt started to settle, literally started to collapse. Parts of where the pool used to be started sinking. Our front yard, where the sewer line was filled in, started to look like an earthquake had hit, with a rather large crack that was growing in the soil as it started to sink. So, in other words, I had 2 holes to fill. I had 2 holes to fill that were pretty determined that I was not going to fill them. Because every trip we made over to the house in New Jersey, I was running to Lowe's or I was running to Home Depot, and I was buying 15 to 20 of those 40-pound bags of topsoil every trip. 20 bags every trip. And I was spreading them out in those 2 places that were sinking. And every trip, when we came back the next time, it looked like nothing had changed. Bag after bag I dumped out. And the next time we came back, I went, and of course I bought 20 more bags and spread them out in the same place, and we had the same results. Well, it turned out that the stuff in the bag that Home Depot and Lowe's sell as topsoil is not really topsoil. It's what they call composted material. It's more dirt than soil. Cheap stuff, really cheap stuff. And after a few days, it dries out and it turns gray like ash. And it just either settles into the hole or it blows away. In other words, it really has no value at all. So, finally, I decided to just get a dump truck load of topsoil. Real ground. Really good ground. 5 cubic yards of ground. Now, while that may not sound like much in the grand scheme of things, that pile of dirt that you saw me moving at the beginning, well, I looked up on Google how much 1 cubic yard of topsoil weighs. And guess what? 1 cubic yard of topsoil weighs, I'll go ahead guess, weighs 2,000 pounds. In other words, 1 ton for each cubic yard. In other words, that day that you see me shoveling, that day I got the good ground, I moved 10,000 pounds of dirt into the wheelbarrow, up 3 steps, and out of the wheelbarrow, and repeat. All day long, 10,000 pounds. Don't you feel sorry for me? Well, don't, because there's more to this story. Because by now, even though I'm sure this is a really interesting story for you, you gotta be wondering why in the world it's made its way into a Wednesday night devotional video. Well, let me tell you why. The reason is this. The new topsoil, the real ground, the real soil, it ain't gonna turn gray. It ain't gonna blow away. The good soil, all 10,000 pounds of it, is gonna fill those holes, and it's gonna keep them filled, and it's gonna fix the problems I was having. That's the message. Is it a lot of work? Absolutely. A lot of work. Did it cost more? Actually, no. Actually, it cost less because it was cheaper to buy this way than buy the bag. But it was really cheaper because I didn't need to keep doing the same thing. I didn't need to keep doing the same thing that wasn't working over and over and over. This was finally working. The good ground, the good soil, was filling those holes and keeping them filled. My point is this. Right now we're all dealing with holes in our lives as we continue to struggle with the repercussions of this virus. Things are different. Things are going to be different. Everything's going to be different for a long time. Church is different. It's going to be different for a long time. Everything we know is different. And we have those holes that we try to fill. The problem is we try to fill those holes with stuff. Lousy stuff. Stuff that's just gonna blow away. Stuff that we keep trying over and over. But it never really works, does it? And that's the problem. At some point, you just gotta have to make a change. Do the work and start filling those holes with the good stuff. At some point, you just gotta have to build your faith life with the good stuff. So, my friends, take the time. Take the time and the energy and the effort. Take the time with your family. Take the time with your church life. Don't walk away from your family. Don't walk away from your church life. We're still there. We'll always be there. But make the change. Make the change to the quality stuff. Is it easy? No. Is it hard work? Yes. But the thing is this, that if you can make the change from the things that do not last to the things that have true staying power, what a difference it makes. What a solid foundation you will have built. No more sinking sand. No more blowing ashes of defeat and dismay. Only solid ground. In other words, it's the solid rock. A true faith journey that can give you the start you need to fill in those holes and really fill in those holes, those empty places that we're all feeling right now. Jesus tells us not to build our lives on the sand, but on the good ground, on the rock of our salvation, the one who can fill in the empty places and stop the erosion in our lives. Do it now. Do it now. Or as the folks at Nike would tell you, just do it. Because, as the old hymn says, all other ground is truly sinking sand. And trust me, I know. Amen.